Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video on asset governance by Harness CCM. In the first video, we got an introduction of about what cloud asset governance is and how Harness CCM helps you achieve it. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about the concepts that will help you start with the asset governance of Harness CCM. The main concepts that we have currently are rules, rule sets, enforcements, and evaluations. To begin with rules, rules help you set up asset governance for your cloud provider. So, a rule is essentially a small file with a set of logic that you can run on your cloud infrastructure. For example, there might be a scenario in which you want to migrate all GP2 EBS volumes to GP3. In such a case, we write and run a rule which does this for us. Ideally, according to the diagram on our right, a rule includes policy, resources, filters, and actions. A policy is defined in YAML format and consists of filters and actions that are applied to a specific type of cloud resource. A resource is the type of cloud resource or service on which the rule will run. A filter, as the name suggests, is a criteria used to narrow down the results based on the attributes. These attributes can include anything like tags, metadata, or any other resource property defined by you. Last but not the least, actions are operations performed on the filtered resources. If we see an example of a rule, here in this rule, the policy has the name of delete snapshot with no volume. The description tells what this policy does. In our case, it finds any snapshots that do not have a corresponding volume. The resource on which this policy will be applied is AWS EBS snapshot, and the filters applied are type, key, and value. Last but not the least, the action that has to be performed on the resources are delete. So, this rule essentially finds any snapshots that do not have a corresponding value and deletes them. Now, moving on to rule sets. As I mentioned previously, a rule can have multiple policies, but when there are multiple policies and multiple rules with multiple policies, it can become very hard to manage them all together. This is where rule sets by Harness CCM come in. Rule sets serve as a logical binding on top of individual rules that help you organize and manage rules. By organizing rules into sets, organizations can improve accessibility and simplify maintenance as enforcements can be made against the entire rule set rather than individual rule. In the example on the screen, you can see that we have the name of the rule set inside which we have 3 rules, and you can also filter the rule sets based on the cloud provider. Enforcements. Enforcements enable you to enforce a certain set of rules or rule sets, also known as governance guardrails, against a specific set of targets, which can be accounts, projects, or subscriptions to run periodically. Sometimes we need rules to run periodically, such as every day, week, or month. However, running these rules manually every day or week at a specific time creates extra overhead and is a slow process prone to manual errors. To solve this, enforcements allow users to set up a timely schedule and choose the day, time, and frequency for their rules or rule sets. For example, a user can create an enforcement to schedule the deletion of all unattached disks. This enforcement will run on the days specified by the user at the specified time and with the specified frequency, which can be hourly, daily, or monthly. For example, you can set it to run daily at 2 a.m. to ensure that unused RDS database is deleted. While setting up an enforcement, you can select the cloud provider, the rules and rule sets that your enforcement will consist of, the target accounts and regions that you will be running the enforcements on, the frequency that can be hourly, daily, or weekly, and the time when the enforcement has to run. And last but not the least, you can also choose a dry run mode, which will generate a simulation of the rule enforcement instead of performing actual actions. Last but not the least, evaluations. Evaluations contain all the data about enforcements run. Both run ones from rule editor and from enforcements. The evaluations window also shows you the total cost impact, with each enforcement. That is, the costs or spendings associated with each evaluation, along with the last time that the rule or the rule set was enforced. With evaluations, you can view and audit all the enforcements that ran in the past. Harness CCM also supports multiple statuses for evaluations. Currently, CCM supports three statuses for an evaluation, which are success, failure, and partial success. If an evaluation is complete without any errors, it will be shown as successful. If an evaluation is not completed and has errors, the status will be failure. If the evaluation is successful without any harness errors, but Cloud Custodian has additional logs and or in case of multi-policy evaluations, if the evaluation was successful only for a subset of resources, the status is shown as partial success. With this, we come to an end of this video. In the next video, we will be seeing some rules and policies in action. Thank you for watching this. See you in the next one.